The way to how we learn about meditation is, of course, by doing it. But before we enter into the practices, I thought I'll provide one or two ideas that you might find helpful. And the first point to make is that with meditation, we are making a new use of that familiar instrument, our mind, our own mind. And the aim is to bring out most valuable resources that are treasured in the depths of our own being. So in this sense, meditation is a perfect example of the original meaning of the word education. And it comes from the Latin, educare, to lead out. And the idea is to bring out capacities in us that are part of our very nature, but which need assistance and guidance in order to manifest. So what are these inner resources? Normally, our education centers on our intellectual development. It is not concerned with our ultimate peace, happiness, and fulfillment. Our education prepares us for the life in the world so that we can work, earn money, and achieve some kind of security as the basis of a full life. And so we are eased into the life of society and depend on it. But what about the question, how can we find peace, happiness, ultimate fulfillment? This, friends, remains unanswered. We may imagine that our life in the world will provide these benefits. But experience teaches us that lasting happiness is not brought about in this way. It's true, the world does provide countless opportunities for pleasure, interest, excitement, and comfort. If we are successful in some field or other, of course, there is satisfaction. But these agreeable experiences do not last very long. We again find ourselves incomplete. It's as if unconsciously we feel we're missing out on some ultimate state that should be ours. In his play Timon of Athens, Shakespeare refers to an old punishment where the offender had to carry buckets of water to a large tub in order to fill it. But the tub was full of holes and it was impossible to fill it up. So too, our efforts to achieve fullness and fulfillment through the outer life of the senses and our work in the world always leaves something more to be desired. We may say that this innate urge for perfection and fulfillment can never be met. It's a delusion or a dream. But friends, this is not the case. Our restlessness has a deep significance. Why? It is a pointer to the transcendent nature of our innermost self. And we will be restless until that self has been unveiled. So there's a promise that fulfillment is possible through self-realization. This is where meditation comes in. The practice of meditation completes our normal development in the most wonderful way. It is a way that in some respects is natural and obvious. But if we go into it deeply, meditation has the power to expand our consciousness. What does this mean? It means that through meditation, we learn to guide our mind from restriction to freedom, from uncertainty to the clear light of a higher understanding. This is not so much an intellectual development, it's a flowering of interior peace and stillness. This serenity makes possible an absorbed awareness into the nature of our inner being. We know much about the mind in its normal active state, because that is what we live with most of the time. But an ancient text tells us what is really worthwhile studying is the mind when it is under control, free from ideas, and trained in what it calls discrimination. Discrimination here means the understanding that our true self is not the mind, but the principle of consciousness to which the thoughts appear. And this is sometimes called the witness consciousness, the ultimate principle of awareness in us. Friends, when we study the mind in this tranquilized mode, we become aware of a dimension of our nature that transcends both body and mind. And this deeper reality is indicated in the following affirmation. Om. Light, power, love, and knowledge. Light, power, love, and knowledge are in me, are in me, are in me. Om. This doesn't mean that our deepest nature is made up of a collection of qualities. Each of these words points to the totality of our inner being. The light referred to, the inner light, is at the same time power, and that the light with power is also love, and light, power, love is also knowledge. All these words are meant to indicate the inexpressible completeness, the fullness of the true and innermost being that is hidden, so to say, behind the normal mental operations. This higher nature is progressively revealed when those mental operations have been brought to quiescence. So friends, again, meditation is like the door to the palace of higher experience. This self-experience is normally overlooked. Why? Because our focus and the field of our desires is usually the outer world, or even the inner world of the mind, and its purely intellectual phase. And another way of expressing this teaching is to say, our intellect itself has a transcendent element in it, which is not separate from the unborn, imperishable reality of our true self. The processes we apply to our mind in meditation are designed to uncover this infinite element, to actualize its presence in our experience, initially as a kind of reflection in the mirror of our quietened mind, and ultimately as self-experience that transcends all limitations and is the one self underlying and making possible the whole universe. Friends, let us now use our mind in the new way we have outlined, the meditative way, through which we will find the secret of peace, fulfillment, and freedom. Let us now turn to our practices, and we begin by preparing ourselves for meditation. We do this by sitting for a minute or two in reverence and calmness. Reverence for the great wisdom that underlies true meditation, calmness as the way to open our mind to the transformative power of that wisdom. Om. Om. Next comes our breathing practice. I'll describe the practice, then I'll say a little about it, and then we'll do it together. We breathe slightly more deeply than usual, drawing up the breath as if from the navel to the spot between the eyebrows, and we let go. If possible, in breath and out breath the same length. We establish a rhythm, and once we have adjusted our breathing in this way, we take on the in-breath the word here, here, and on the out-breath, now, now. In this way, we keep the attention on the present moment, the moment that is here, now, instead of allowing the mind to lose itself in thoughts of the past and future. The underlying idea is to find serenity and fulfillment in being, not in thinking. And being is associated with the reality that underlies the present moment, what has been called the eternal now. So we'll do the breathing practice together now for about 4 minutes, and I'll repeat it. Om. Breathe slightly more deeply than usual, drawing up the in-breath slowly, as if from the navel to the point between the eyebrows, and let go slowly. Establish a rhythm, and we add the word here on the in-breath and now on the out-breath. Oh. conscious breathing. Here, now. Let it energize you. It's purity itself. Here, now. Do a few more rounds. Friends, this kind of breathing is going to clear, as it were, the channel the path to the door which opens to infinite light and bliss. Now we'll do our visualization, and it is this. Fill the mind with the thought, I sit in the direct light and stillness of pure being. Imagine you are sitting in the presence of all-pervading light and perfect stillness that underlies all our experience. Our being is bathed in that light and stillness. Think or feel it in any way you wish. Some scene you know, a quiet place, inside or outside, or pure abstraction. But have the sense of light and stillness that goes within and beyond your individuality, and is that region of self-experience that knows no horizon. We'll do the practice together for about 5 minutes, and as we do it, I'll remind you of the key words. I sit in the direct light and stillness of pure being. Om. I sit in the direct light and stillness of pure being. Om. Light. Stillness. Light. Stillness within and around us. Our being is bathed in that light and stillness. light, stillness, pure being. If ever you need help in staying alert, pause, take a few deep breaths, re-energize yourself, and then go back to the practice. So now we are going to do a meditation together, and it is this: I am the power which guides the mind. I am the source of peace, happiness, and for freedom. Friends, when we use the word I in this way, we're not referring to the active, desiring personal I or ego, but to the true self which underlies it and is one in all. When we take a text like this for meditation, we hold it in our mind, either the whole text or a part of it, and let it sink more deeply into our consciousness. And when other thoughts intrude and capture our attention, gently dismiss them by saying, not now, later. Not now, later, maybe. So we'll do the practice together now for about 6 minutes, and I'll repeat it. I am the power which guides the mind. I am the source of peace, happiness, and freedom. Om. I am the power which guides the mind. I am the source of peace, happiness, and freedom. Om. I am the power which guides the mind. I am the source of peace, happiness, and freedom. I am the power which guides the mind. I am the source of peace, happiness, and freedom. Enter this realm of infinite peace and light, your true home. Peace, happiness, freedom. Know that this door, your inner door, is always open. And it's us to turn towards it and enter into it. We end our session by sending out thoughts of peace and light to all, without exception. And we do this for a minute or two. Om. Om. Thank you for your attention and participation and this wonderful light around us.